I just go off vibes. I do not measure out ratios. Same. I want to say this is something that I'm ashamed to admit, but I'm not ashamed to admit it. I feel like most of us, after so long, do just measure off vibes because the exact ratio doesn't really matter. Now, if you want to know the exact amount of time that it's going to take your starter to peak and you want to be super, super organized that way, yes, measure out your ratios. But if you're not worried about being that exact, then it doesn't really matter so much. The important thing about feeding ratios is you want a higher ratio, meaning you want more flour than starter is in that jar. You want a higher one, but the specific higher one doesn't really make a difference. So yeah, you can absolutely measure just going off vibes. The only time I measure my starter is when I mix my starter on Friday mornings. So Fridays are my dough day when I do my orders for like my little micro bakery. I start prepping dough as soon as I get home from work at like 5 o'clock. So I get up in the morning and I feed my starter. Now, I know that I need a specific amount to make the things that I'm gonna make. So that I do measure because I need to know that it's going to be peaked in time. I need to know that I have enough, right? So I will measure that. But as far as just like my daily feedings, when I'm taking, because I only keep like 10 to 15 grams of starter at any given time, when I'm feeding that, I don't measure that. I don't. I just go off vibes. And it's vibes, but it's like intuitive vibes, if that makes sense. Like I've fed it and measured it enough times that like I know that I'm doing a higher ratio. Like I know that. And I know my consistency. So it's like vibes, but it's like informed vibes, if that makes sense. And that is a perfectly acceptable way to feed your starter, especially if you're just making bread for your family. Like unless you're running a micro bakery and you need exact amounts of things, I think vibes are just fine. At the beginning, it can be really, really helpful to measure out the ratios until you kind of get a feel for it, until you can kind of see, okay, what are the different amounts, how much starter versus how much flour. But after you've done it for a while, yeah, for sure. Vibes. Remember, you've got this. I believe in you. Go make some bread.